The green eye.
Like two.
And welcome back to Cigar Time, your friendly neighborhood show all about premium cigars. Welcome back.
That was excellent.
Yeah, what are you going?
I'm impressed.
I've been doing it a while.
Yeah, a few years now.
It even
years,
says
yeah.
premium on here.
It does
So
it?
it must be a premium cigar.
Wow.
I think it says premium because it's from the Premium Cigar
Line.
Association.
How many Americans do you think smoke cigars on a daily basis?
About 1%
Six.
of the population.
Number. And it's way less than that.
20 million.
Way less.
Way less than 20 million.
374
On a regular basis.
374,212. Really?
120,000.
Smoke premium cigars on a daily basis.
Yep.
Yeah, but I make up for 50 of
That's
those guys.
Yeah, right. Which is kind of tied to the conversation of today, which is
Okay. Let's tell people what we're smoking first.
Yeah, that would be a good conversation.
Today we are smoking the Tatuaje PCA cigar.
Exclusive to members of the
The
PCA.
PCA, that is correct. Not a TAA. This is the PCA, the trade show
Premium?
for
Premium
all
Cigar Association.
premium cigar retailers. That is correct. Paul, you know the blend.
The blend is pretty straightforward. It's got my favorite wrapper, Ecuadorian Sumatra.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a double Nicaraguan binder and all Nicaraguan fillers.
Wow.
and a closed foot.
And a closed foot.
And it's also triple capped.
Oh, do the cold draw. It's interesting.
Cold draw tastes good.
It's different.
I couldn't wait.
You couldn't wait.
I couldn't wait that long.
I get a little bit of I get a little bit of currant.
Chicken.
Current what, news?
Or currant, whatever you spell it or say it.
Wow, that puts out a lot of smoke.
We may
Somebody,
have to turn the
Holy
fan on.
crap.
somebody remind me to buy grapevine. I gotta buy grapevines. I'm gonna plant grapes. And make wine. Just
Odie odie.
just for shits and giggles.
Can you say that?
You're not talking the grapevines, the candy, right? The grapevine.
Yeah, grapes.
Oh my God.
Actual grapes.
Yeah, just for fun.
Because
What do you
got a
do for
joke.
fun?
It's actually
Nothing.
a clean joke.
You
I
walk
can
the
tell.
dog, right?
I walk my dog. It's my favorite time of day.
Uh-huh.
This
So,
is a
maybe
spice
you should
bomb
plant
at the
tomatoes.
beginning.
Since we were just talking about grapes, why was Helen Keller's hands purple?
I don't know.
She heard it through the grapevine.
Oh boy. You know why she had 42 holes in her face?
You couldn't understand.
She tried to eat with a fork.
Did you? My mom got remarried. When she got remarried,
Yeah,
her name was Ann Helen Keller.
really.
God's honest truth.
I have nothing to do with Helen Keller. Although I did.
Although
see
you
the,
act like it around here sometimes.
Although I've seen the movie.
The Patty Duke movie?
She was in both of them. She played
She was a much better actress than she got credit for.
actor. Yeah,
Actor, sorry.
that's right.
And her
Yeah,
husband was
she-
an even better actor than he got credit for.
Absolutely. She played Helen Keller, and then she played the Sullivan Broad.
The Sullivan Broad. That should have been the name of the movie.
The Sullivan
The
Broad.
Sullivan Broad.
Besides talking about cigars, we renamed old shows.
What did Jane Mansfield have some?
Jane Mansfield.
That's very funny.
A testament
Do you know
to
who her daughter
engineering.
is?
No.
The
his-
captain on special units, special
CS,
victims,
special
law and order special unit, victims unit. The captain.
SVU.
The girl.
Yeah,
did you say? Who did
Mariska
you say?
Hargitay.
Yeah, that's her daughter.
Yep.
Jane Mansfield.
Mariska Hargitay.
Yep. I don't know. People think she's beautiful. I never thought she was attractive at all. Mariska Hargitay.
Manfield.
I don't know.
She's
don't-
gotten better as she's gotten older.
Really?
Yeah.
Jane Manfield. She was born here in Bryn Mawr. Born at Bryn Mawr Hospital.
Yeah, but her boobs were in a whole other
Yeah, that's
zip
right.
code.
That's right.
It's a family show. What's wrong with you?
I said boob. So what?
If you really want to get technical, mammalian protrusions.
There you go.
Okay.
right, let's- what do you have?
While it's fresh in my mind,
What
next
mine?
Thursday, the 24th, is the
Fifth.
NFL draft.
5th.
Ooh.
What?
Isn't it the 25th?
No, 25th. Oh yeah, you're right.
I know,
It is the
right.
25th. Sorry, thank you.
All right, we can comfortably discredit the rest of what you have to say now?
Yes.
Okay.
Downingtown's having a draft party from 6 to 9:30. They're doing something where if you whoever has the best mock draft, I don't know how they're rating it, but
Who's coming up with that, Tom?
I guess you win some kind of prize. It sounds like a cool idea, actually.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it last week a bit. And then on the 26th, they're doing a movie night in Oxford Valley. It's the Top Gun Maverick, which I did correct the graphic.
Good. This PCA cigar only comes in one size, and it's, what do you say, 6 and 3/8
by 54, so it's a bulky Toro.
Yes.
The band looks like their Mexican experiment band,
Yes.
but there's no Mexican tobacco in here.
They use this band on other stuff too.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got kind of a, even on the cold draw, what I'll describe as a really clean kind of flavor.
Yes.
Unmuddled or
Yeah.
I used to describe the original. What the hell was that cigar? CAO Amazon Basin.
Okay.
I used to describe that with like
Clean.
it had a clean, like a really
The
clean
finish.
taste.
The
and that's-
finish is clean. It doesn't leave anything lingering on your
Yeah.
palate. You just taste it and then it's gone.
Even
I get like almost mint
Yeah.
from that
Yeah.
clean flavor. I get a mint.
Even
Uh-huh.
even smelling the tobacco before
Yeah.
we lit it was very
Yeah,
clean. Yeah,
exactly.
it's crazy.
But it's also, at least from the get-go, it's pretty spicy.
I'm not getting any spice.
Not yet. Not yet. I haven't gotten it close. Like this,
I didn't-
he
Did
was
you let
saying
it
that
in the
clean
middle?
taste to me is like a little bit of a mint.
I didn't realize I was reading something recently that the blenders can tell they can chew the tobacco and tell if it's going to be if it's going to be spicy.
That's one
it's
that's
interesting.
one of the ways, if you're buying tobacco and you go to the barns where the people are selling it, one of the ways that you evaluate tobacco before you buy it is you chew on a little piece of leaf, especially wrapper, to give you an idea of what it's going to taste like, how spicy it is. The other thing you do is take a leaf and just take one leaf. You don't roll it, but you set it on fire
Yeah.
and you smell it. And if you've seen pictures of
Yeah,
people
yeah.
working, they do that. They
Yeah.
light the leaf and they sniff it.
Yeah.
Are there? You said that they buy it out of the barn. Is that when it's? Do they do that
You
because
can, you can buy it every way you want
Okay.
along the process. You can buy it totally unfermented, fresh out of the curing barn.
right?
You can buy it partially fermented
I heard that's what a lot of companies do is they won't buy it completely fermented.
because they want to do the end of it on their own.
Yeah, it'll get like I don't know 80, 75, 80% of the way there.
And then they'll do some more.
Yeah.
Is it cheap?
And the interesting thing is that there are companies that will buy it partially done and not finish it just because it's faster and cheaper that way.
Is it cheaper to buy it before it gets fermented at all?
Sure, because
Straight out of the.
you're paying for time.
Okay, no, that's what I was just wondering.
Yeah, people ask me, well, why is this cigar so expensive? I'm like, time.
Yeah.
Time and labor. As one of the I think most smartest or brilliant things Art ever used to say is like every cigar starts off costing the same amount of money,
Yeah, every cigar.
and it's
And then it's what you do.
it's what you do with it afterwards that little. Then I think he used to say 5 cents. I don't know how much a seed actually costs, but every cigar starts off costing a nickel. And I'm like, I tell that to people. I'm like, it's true.
It is absolutely
It really
true.
is. I mean, and why is Davidoff so expensive? It's like, well, because they age it longer, a lot more hands touch it, and the yield of tobacco is lower because anybody at any point can throw out or reject tobacco or a
Or
cigar.
finish cigars.
Yeah.
And the people at Davidoff will tell you that only 80% of the cigars they roll ever become a Davidoff. So 20% of them are rejected.
That's a significant
Oh,
amount.
okay. Well, yeah, it was heartbreaking when I was there in 2019, 2020, something like that. And they were rolling this. It was a new cigar that was coming out. It was a Perfecto. It was like we called it the 46 or something like that. And so I'm talking with Klaus Kellner, Mr. Hendrick's son, and I'm like, so what do you guys do with the stuff that gets rejected? Hoping he's going to go, yeah, take one.
Yeah.
No, he goes, give me a couple minutes, I'll show you. So we walk, he's like, here, Scott was asking about blah, 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 and he picked up a box. Snap. Just broke him in half.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Now, I don't know if they do that with all of their stuff.
A
Or he
lot.
was
but
just
with
making
that
a
one, they
point.
did.
Why don't they let the rollers smoke it?
I don't know. I'm not
Or
sure.
put it out under another name,
Yeah.
like everybody else
Well,
in the world
they
does.
used to. They used to have the private stock, or is that
Well,
what
they
it's,
still
private
have
stock?
it.
Do they?
Private? No,
private-
not private stock.
Yeah, they used to have
National
the-
brand.
No,
That's
that's
what
different.
That's
Yeah,
something they
but
That's
acquired
that's
down the
different.
road.
Private stock was
That's what everybody,
Davidoff.
everybody thought was the
Seconds.
seconds and
Yeah.
the 3x3, which was a fantastic cigar.
3x3 was a fantastic
In fact,
cigar.
I had a guy who's probably the richest person I've ever met,
Yeah.
and it's all he ever smoked.
They
all
were
the
really
time.
good,
They were very good,
and they were only like $3 a piece.
and it's been
In a
remember-
tube.
And
Yes.
yeah, and it came in a tube. Wow, tube was tube and name only. It was you can crush it by looking at it.
Remember
Well,
for
but
a while
the
they
aluminum
came
tubes
pre-cut.
are all that way.
Huh?
Remember for a while they came
Yeah,
pre-cut.
yeah, yeah.
What the hell's going on?
They didn't quite fit in the tube, so they cut the end off. for you.
Yeah.
It was cheaper to cut the end off than get new tubes.
This cigar produces an astonishing amount of smoke.
Tons of
Is
smoke, man.
anybody else getting a citrus?
A little bit, yeah.
I'm,
They-
I'm
they-
still
they-
getting the mint.
The mint's kind of fading into the back, and I'm picking up a little citrus now.
I get that from almost all Ecuadorian wrapper.
Ecuador.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Ecuadorian. There's no I in it.
It's either, you can spell it either way.
You can.
How about
Not me.
Ecuadorian?
Ecuadorian tobacco.
Are we Americanians? Or are we Americans? Ecuadorians or Ecuadorians?
Oh, that's right. It's the beginning. You can spell differently.
That
With
sounds like an
either
episode of
ECUA or EQU. Isn't there? Aren't there two ways of spelling it?
No.
Yeah, there's something.
Some
Well, see,
people
what-
use
what
the
prob-
I, but
What the problem is
Ecuadorians
the
don't.
way we
Okay.
spell it is not the same way
They
they
spell
spell
it.
it. And people try to pronounce it the way they spell it. And it's a whole different thing.
Is that is
Oh, fascinating cigar.
is half the country in the northern hemisphere and this other half in the southern hemisphere?
It's not half, but the exact center cuts right through it.
Right.
Is that where the name?
Most of it is
Ecuador
in
comes from?
most
Yeah.
most
Equator?
yeah. Most of Ecuador is south of the equator, but some of it is north.
Josh is
And they have a spot that was designated by the Spanish conquerors as the center of the world. Even though it's only on the equator, it's not at the prime meridian,
Right.
which is, cuts through
New
England.
York
Yeah.
City.
The center of the world? Only if you look on
Well,
maps.
Well, the world's if the Earth is a sphere, then
Then everywhere is the center.
everywhere is the center.
That's true.
I saw a.
But the center of the world location in Ecuador has a giant stone ball about 12 feet in diameter just sitting there. And that's
And there's-
supposed to be
there's a-
the center of the world.
And there's also a magnetic property to the stone.
To that stone?
Yeah, because it's on the equator, things don't work quite the way they're supposed to when you're standing next to it. Just a big thing on some travel channel I was
Oh,
watching.
cool.
Really.
Yeah.
Now, do the toilets flush?
I was just going to say,
They
I
don't-
have
they don't
never
flush.
looked at the toilet to tell you which direction
direction
it
it
flushes in. But
Yeah, you feel it.
exactly on the equator, it goes straight up instead of straight down.
Ooh, that's how I come up with a bidet.
Exactly.
That's not a good thing.
No.
I was sitting outside last week,
I think you're usually like,
Saturday night, And I just happened to look up at the exact time. I think it was I saw a meteor, and not like shooting stars or meteors, but this was like
A bigger
a
one?
giant white, like hot white front of it.
With the
Head this
tail.
direction, and it had like a bluish kind of
So
tail.
you're the guy you heard about, running around the backyard. Beam me up, Scotty. Beam me up.
I actually thought it was something that
No,
that got
he
through
is
the
Scotty. He
atmosphere.
beams everybody else
I
out.
was like waiting for like a huge explosion or to crash or something.
Is it coming towards you?
No,
They
it's away
almost
from me.
never hit the earth.
Yeah, no,
They
yeah.
they almost always burn up.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool though. I was checking to see if anybody else saw it online, but no.
I want to see who is the first to send tobacco up into space and bring it back down and try to market that as a cigar.
Didn't Omar do something like? He's doing something like that, or something.
Well,
with
he would be
tobacco.
the best equipped to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that, being a
Like
rocket
a
scientist.
scientist.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that we had that big ash bash. And he was here.
Right?
He's telling me
Yeah.
about the process of cigars. I said, come on, it's not rocket science.
It's on all those boxes.
And
Not
a T-shirt.
rocket
And a T-shirt. We got
Yeah.
a T-shirt.
But that's when he looked at me, he got a smile on his face. That's what I do for NASA.
All right, let's give our first impressions, even though we have been bantering it around a little bit. Moose.
So far, it's enjoyable. I like the output of the smoke.
That's a lot of smoke, man.
Yeah, really. I'm surprised you can still see us through the haze. The flavor's good. It's a little different from what I was expecting.
Yeah, me too.
It's on the power
Cool.
scale. I would call it a 2, but it's a very tasty 2 so far.
Full body, but not full power.
I wouldn't even call it full body. I'm really not. It's a mellow cigar. I mean, with the flavors you're getting, I'm not getting like with all the Nicaraguan tobacco. You would expect some pepperiness. I haven't gotten any yet.
That's where in Nicaragua, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But I'm just saying that Nicaraguan tobacco is associated with a peppery flavor.
Especially stuff made by Don Pepin,
Yeah.
which this is.
Yeah, and
Oh,
I'm just,
sorry.
that's okay.
I'm still deep in the mint, and it covers the whole inside of my mouth. Not even just my palate, the insides of my cheeks, the whole thing. It's like I'm chewing on a mint.
Okay.
Is that making you a cheeky fellow?
I'm with.
I've been
I'm with
called
what Paul
worse.
just said about as far as the minty. It's almost like a. I want to say it's like a cooling kind of. It's like
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a cooling kind of smoke.
It's a menthol
there's-
cigar.
That's what made me
It,
think
it
of.
almost
I mean,
feels
it's
like
not.
that.
Yeah, but I don't want anybody
not
to get the
that
impression
intense.
that it's. It has a. It makes you think of mint. It's not as minty as like chewing on a piece of mint gum or whatever.
Right.
And I just did a retrohale, and there's something else going on in the retrohale that was interesting that I don't recall having before. Where's the retrohale? See if you can pick it up.
I just did. I'm getting mint through the retrohale. Not so much. I do get it through the intake, but then when I retrohale it,
The
I'm
mint
getting
comes
the
through
mint
much
really
stronger.
comes through.
Oh, wow. Right there, it really did.
Yeah,
Actually, it wasn't the retrohale. It was like right after the retrohale. I tasted it on my tongue.
yeah. It's really good.
We were,
It's burning very quickly too.
yeah, I noticed that.
But
in
it's
yours.
not
Yeah.
underfilled.
No, not underfilled at
It's
all.
not underfilled at all, but
You're
it's
not gonna get
burning
that.
quick.
We were showing a couple of customers last week in Colmar how to retrohale, and guy was he did it. He was like, "Oh my god!" Like the flavor. He was like, "Holy shit!"
Who was this?
Zoltan.
I don't know who Zoltan is. Isn't Zoltan the
No, that's Zoltar. I thought the same thing. No, that's actually his real name.
His name is Zoltan.
Yeah, he's Hungarian.
So
He's from Hungary.
if he from Hungary,
But he's not. Prove he's not.
Oh my God.
I just completely lost whatever logical train of thought I had.
Yeah, that was years ago.
the last time I had a irrational thought. Yeah. that
I
was
can't get
years
over how clean this is. I mean, it's leaving no
Yeah.
ago. Other than that minty
taste.
tingle.
Yeah, no taste at all.
It's
in
like
your
you
mouth.
used some mouthwash.
Yeah.
And it just leaves a little tingle, but it's just clear.
They
Yes.
should make a smaller version of this, and we sell it to everybody as they leave. Like here, it's like mouthwash.
Scope should come up with something.
Well,
a little
they
promotion
put
with it.
scope in all kinds of other stuff like toothpaste and
Yeah.
mints and a scope cigar.
There's Scope gum.
I saw these videos where somebody they covered an egg with toothpaste, and then they covered it over 24 hours, and they wiped all the toothpaste off, and the egg was completely translucent. You could see the yolk and everything.
What?
I wonder what that does to your teeth then.
Yeah, right. That's a good point. Did
See,
do
now I
have
gotta try that.
exactly. I haven't done it yet, but I'm like, yeah, I need to do that.
What toothpaste did they use?
Crazy drinking games.
See, yeah.
It sounds like it to
I don't know.
me.
I can't imagine it's. Actually, I think the toothpaste looks kind of like that. To tell you the truth.
Really, so, it's Aquafresh.
Yes, it is.
Is it? Not that we're advertising for Aquafresh, but
Or Scope.
right. Okay,
Although
so
if they want to pay us a fee,
Yeah, sure. That'd be nice.
We
I
can
have no
scope it.
problem with
We-
that. Scope it out.
We can scope it out, yeah.
Wow, my God.
so about I'm guessing 6 months ago, the judge, the Honorable Emmett, I'm not going to pronounce this right, Mehta, vacated the deeming rules or all the regulations surrounding cigars, and it was kind of a big deal, but kind of knew that the FDA was going to appeal it, which they have, and the PCA and the Cigar Rights of America, and a bunch of other organizations, including some of the cigar manufacturers, are commenting on that appeal, and I just read through it again, and it was. If you get a chance, read through it because it just tells you this. It's a little microcosm of our perception of what's wrong with our government right now. The way they went about this, the whole deeming regulations and the research and all this stuff, and in going through the comments from this attorney, I picked out a bunch of things that just sort of cracked me up in that this is how they approached it. And the two major things were, one was around is there a different way tobacco is used by different people? Meaning, does somebody consume or smoke a cigarette different than a pipe, different than snuff or a cigar? And then the big thing that came out of it was that the FDA claimed there's no data or studies regarding the difference.
So how do you reach a conclusion if there's no data?
Well, the thing is that actually there actually is, and it's part of the government records. So they just sort of
Ignored it.
yes, that's what the claim is. Is you guys just like the word capricious and arbitrary was all through this.
Really?
All through this document.
I couldn't use those legal terms. It'd be lying sack of
Capricious.
shit.
Yeah. And then the other thing was the FDA misrepresented the number of youth,
Utes.
age 12 to 17,
Utes.
that claim that they smoke premium cigars. And that was key because the incidence of youth using tobacco products was the key.
Yeah.
It was the key piece of the what's it called? The Family Smoking Prevention and Tobacco Act. I mean, that was a major, this was the whole reason they were doing this whole thing. And in the final ruling, the FDA in their report concluded that they actually, this is a quote, studies indicate that you are also using premium cigars, and they cited a study authored by this Christine Del Nevo, said the FDA study analysis reveals that 3.8% of youth aged 12 to 17 were able to identify using specific brands of premium cigars.
Right.
Well, that and what are the
Black and Moss.
It's not
No.
premium. It's not premium.
I know.
exactly?
But
But
as
the-
far as youths
but what
are
the-
concerned,
But what the judge was pointing out was like, wait, well, hold on a minute. Like, that's just a piece of the information. The FDA omitted that, omitted that the study found that only 3.3% of youth had used cigars at all.
Just try it.
Yes.
So it's not like they use it on a regular basis.
Right. And 3.8% of that small group had used premium cigars, which is what, I mean, that's what we sell.
Right.
Now I guess we should clarify between premium and what we call domestic cigars. Domestic are like the White Owl and the Phillies, and that makes up 98% of the sales in cigars.
Right.
So what we sell makes up like about 2% of the overall just cigar industry, and of the tobacco industry, it's negligible.
Even less.
What we sell.
it's barely a line item
Yeah.
on the balance sheets of the big cigarette companies that own most of the cigar companies.
I think they produce in a day more cigars than more premium cigars are produced in a year.
That's possible. Yeah.
Well,
Maybe I can see that.
the domestic cigars, they sell billions of them
Yeah.
a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so it was actually 3.8% of the group, or 3.3% of the 3.8%
Right.
smoked premium cigars. So what that means is roughly 0.1% of kids aged 12 to 17 had ever used a premium cigar, and a statistician was talking about this. Like, that is statistically equal to zero, meaning like there's like
3% of 3%. Yeah, that's pretty much nothing.
yeah, it
Yeah.
said it's statistically indistinguishable from zero. That's a lot of
Yeah.
tough
Yep.
words. And this is one of the things that cracked me up.
This is what the judge said, or this is what one of the reasons he vacated.
Yes, yeah,
okay.
because he's like, wait a minute, you're basically manipulating the data and when I said earlier, not using data about
They're
usage,
omitting a
which
lot of stuff.
I'll talk about in a minute. And I'm actually gonna read this verbatim. The court stated a regulation perfectly reasonable and appropriate in the face of a given problem may be highly capricious if that problem does not exist.
You think?
Yeah, that's the definition of capricious.
Yes, but they even went to say this. This is great. So this court overturns rules intended to defeat a boogeyman whose existence was never verified. So
love
basically, they're trying to solve a problem that
doesn't exist.
That they
doesn't
can't
even
prove
exist.
is even there.
And they even went further in other parts of this document about some of the other regulations, like the advertising and all that stuff. And they're like, you're claiming that the advertising is targeting kids, but you haven't done any studies, or you haven't proven it. So
The last
Outside
time
of-
they proved that any tobacco advertising was directed towards kids was when they sued Camel
Yeah.
for Joe Camel.
right.
And that's like 25 years ago.
And that's what got them to stop being able to advertise.
Yep.
Okay, so now there's no more Joe Camel, although that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it
The whole
was.
campaign, that was pretty cool.
So talking about usage, the FDA says in a one-sentence conclusion that current use patterns are irrelevant. The FDA said the current usage patterns, meaning this study that was done, wasn't included because the patterns may change over time in response to regulation. So the judge is like, wait a minute, you can't regulate based on speculation. That's what I mean by what's maybe not funny, haha, but funny, ironic.
Ironic, yeah.
Yeah.
And the district court said, concluding the mere possibility of a change in behavior is not reasoned decision making. Mere conjecture and abstract theorizing does not suffice under the APA. And the APA, I looked it up. Crap, it has something to do with how laws are properly presented. There's an association that does that. And they said that the FDA's summary conclusion lacks hallmarks of reasoned decision making, which it's like, doesn't that just kind of justify? Doesn't it just blend with what currently the population thinks about the government?
Yes.
It's kind of like, and here it is, and I love that this judge actually is pointing this out and recognizing it.
Yeah. Finally, there's a competent judge. They're just trying to throw stuff on the wall to see what sticks. That's what they're doing.
They figure if they throw enough stuff,
Yeah.
the judges will reject almost all of it,
And
but
what-
whatever they leave, they consider a plus.
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Of course it is.
And they also when they're talking about it, it's like, wait a minute, do I have a quote on here somewhere? I don't know. I thought I put it in here, but basically also the government is saying, I mean this judge is saying is like, wait a minute, like all of you want to put the restrictions and the regulations are so onerous, you're going to put family businesses out of business. You're going to, like, people are not going to have, and all of this is over something that isn't really a problem.
Right.
So it was just really interesting in reading through this whole thing.
Was this a federal judge? Or was it a local judge?
No, this is a federal.
Good.
Yeah. No,
He's
no,
a-
all
he's
the, all,
an appellate court judge, fella.
yeah. The other thing is that they were talking about was like they sort of, when you are regulating something, the onus is on the government to prove that it needs to be regulated. In
And
this
they
case,
clearly didn't do that.
well, they didn't do that, but in this case, what happened is they put the burden of regulation on the regulated. And the judge also pointed this out. He's like, what are you talking about? He says you're shifting this. He says the agency inappropriately shifted the burden for justifying a regulation to the regulated. So it's anyway. So I spent like part of yesterday and early this morning
Rolling on the floor laughing.
just reading through this thing. It was very repetitive though. It was just like somebody in Washington actually has common sense.
Yeah, finally.
Hard to imagine.
At least that judge.
Yes, exactly. And so anyway, the FDA is appealing it, but it's like it makes them look like a bunch of Keystone Cops.
Yeah.
It's just like no. Too many kids are using tobacco. Like, what are you talking
That's
about?
because that's their perception.
Yeah,
That's exactly
no.
what it is.
And there was no data, no science behind it, or they ignored a lot of it that already existed, and that is a major that's a major mistake on the FDA's part.
Also, the contrast is interesting between how the FDA regulates drugs and how they regulate tobacco. A dramatic difference. Everything about regulating drugs is driven by science, and everything about
Until COVID.
regulating tobacco is driven by politics.
Yeah.
Well, they even in this appeal, they also discussed the new, forget what it's called, but they had regulations for manufacturing facilities, and they're basically turning them into, they have to have follow the same practices as a drug company would. And they're like, this is an artisan craft made from a single leaf of tobacco. Like, you can't apply this. It just doesn't work. And not to mention, it's in another country. How can you regulate something that happens in another country?
Right.
So, anyway, in other cigar industry news, the UK's generational tobacco ban cleared another hurdle. So they voted on it, and basically what they're saying is anyone born after 2008 can no longer purchase tobacco.
I don't think Sunak will sign off on that. The Prime
Really? So
Minister.
people think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it.
Do you know how much
It-
revenue they would lose?
No.
It has to be a tremendous amount because I'm sure that it's taxed heavily, especially in
Especially in
England.
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 Yeah.
Or the UK. Yeah.
Yeah, where are they going to come up with that money? That means they just have to tax something else, tax people for something else
Soda.
to get that money.
I still say slice of pizza. Everybody eats pizza. And people will go bananas if their pizza gets taxed by the
You know what?
slice.
Everybody drinks soda. Well, most people drink soda, and they tried that in Philadelphia, and look what they did.
Yeah,
Look what happened.
they went across
they went
the
across.
border.
They went across the border and got it somewhere else. And that's exactly what's going to happen in England.
Where are they going to go? It's an island.
Take the ferry over to France and
Take a ferry over.
load up and come
Well,
back.
they don't regulate
Well, they don't even have to go
tobacco
that far.
much
They
in
can go to
France.
they can go to Ireland.
They did someplace did a generational ban, and it was like it wasn't.
Or probably Australia or
I think it
New
was
Zealand.
New Zealand
Yeah.
did it.
New Zealand's
They ended up reversing
hippie
it, didn't
country.
they?
I think they did.
They had it in for like 2 years, and it was such a problem because nobody was actually obeying the law.
That's ridiculous. Can't buy it. A legal product you can't buy.
Yeah, well, they're making it illegal.
You're,
But
you're
you
no
s-
longer a free country when you start doing stuff like that.
That's prohibition all over
That's
again.
exactly right. Look what happened to that.
Oh yeah.
So we could become
Ask,
mafia dons just by virtue of being in the
Well,
cigar business.
Exactly.
Every business person will be able to outmaneuver the
officially
government
crooked.
at every turn.
Officially,
Always.
as opposed to practice.
Prohibition's a great example.
Also
of that. They
crooked
got
like
around
screw
it
me
all.
to the ground
Yeah.
when I'm dead.
Look at Al Capone. They got they got away with a lot
Joe
of stuff.
Kennedy.
Joe Kennedy. You know what? That's a kind of a misnomer. He didn't.
Don't correct me in front of him.
He provided trucks.
He
the
made-
whole world is watching this
He
right
made
now,
the
and
bottles
you're correcting
for it.
me.
He made the bottles for it.
He
That's
made the
how
bottles and he
He
provided,
provided
trucks.
the trucks. He didn't. He wasn't.
He didn't
a
make any
bootlegger.
liquor.
Exactly. He wasn't a bootlegger.
Didn't lick boots.
No.
You don't have to make it to be a bootlegger.
He provided the bottles and he provided the trucks.
And he
Right?
transported it in here and he sold it and
I don't
made a
think
lot of
he.
money.
I
I
don't
don't know
think
if
he
he
used the
transported.
trucks. He sold
He sold
guys like Al Capone the trucks and the bottles.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah. He wasn't what everybody thinks he did. He didn't do what everybody thinks he did. So
He was an enabler.
Yes.
that is correct. He was enabling.
And he wasn't the
enabling.
first one in the family that dealt in liquor. His grandmother did. She owned a bar.
Did she? Nice.
Yeah, she owned a bar
Good for her.
in Boston.
You think she sold his liquor?
Yeah, the people.
I don't
that
know
raise,
if she was still around when he started doing that crap.
People that raise chickens are actually chicken tenders.
There's other words for it too.
Stop that.
Paul, you know what?
tenders. That's
We
very
should-
funny,
We should have a.
A smoking, blowing.
What do you say?
Yes.
A blowing contest?
Yeah, Paul.
Mine
There's
won't.
only one thing I blow, and it's smoke rings.
That's mine won't last that long. Mine just
God, please stop.
It's a matter of-
Please stop.
It's a matter of lung capacity.
see how fast they dissipate.
Yeah, mine. I can't even. I'm not even getting. I'm not even able to blow them right now.
Yeah. See, mine won't do that. Mine just goes straight up.
Mine like to hang around.
Yeah, I see that.
Accomplishing nothing. They're all like me. They like to hang around accomplishing nothing.
Anything else there, Scotty? Do?
Yeah, Ranger Suarez was shutout last
Yeah,
night.
we already talked about that.
It was a
No,
great
we
game.
did
not
That was not on the
before.
air. Not
That
on
was
the air.
beforehand.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that was in the pre-show.
Oh,
And you're gonna watch the Sixers tonight?
who?
Yeah, they win tonight. They're in the playoffs.
Do you
If
see
they
the
lose?
the Flyers didn't make the playoffs, and it was the way they did it. They needed a team.
Montreal had to win.
Detroit
Montreal had to beat
Detroit
Detroit.
couldn't score a point, couldn't get a point, so they had to lose the game outright in regulation, but they ended up scoring a goal with 3 seconds left in the game
to knock the
tie
Flyers out of the playoffs.
to tie it.
Yeah.
But I think something else had to happen too. But
Well,
that's
Flyers probably would have helped if the Flyers won.
How are the Penguins doing
well, they
this
didn't.
year?
It didn't. Oh, I don't know. I don't think they're that good.
Ovechkin's getting close to catching Gretzky.
41
Goals.
away.
How many?
41.
41 away, but not in points.
No, just goals.
Just goals. Yeah, Gretzky. No one will ever touch Gretzky in points. It's crazy.
He has more. He has more assists than anybody. Or wait a minute.
Yeah, more assists than anybody else, total
has
points.
That's crazy.
That's a team player.
Absolutely,
Well,
absolutely.
he played with a lot of other Hall of Famers.
That's true. That's true. Those are-
Arguably, the two greatest players of all time were Messier and Gretzky.
Yeah, I like
What
Messi.
about Gordie Howe?
He's up there.
He just longevity. He played into his
played-
60s.
He played long enough to have both his sons on the same team with him
That's true.
That's a long
Mark and
time.
Marty.
in the World Hockey Association.
My
For the
brother
Whaler, for the Hartford
plays
Whale.
in a 60-plus hockey league in New Jersey.
Oh, really?
And I have never seen more crippled-looking people in my life. And they play every week, and they come home looking like they were in a war.
Yeah.
Did you ever
We have
play
a few
hockey?
cigar reps
No,
who play
It
hockey.
is a war.
Well,
It is a war.
at 60-plus, it's
Rosenbacher
really a
and,
war.
Tom McCormick.
McCormick, yeah.
They both play?
They both play ice
Tom
hockey.
played at Penn State.
Did he?
Mhm.
What position?
Hockey.
He was the
Not
puck.
exactly a position.
was the
but
puck.
okay.
I don't know.
He was
I
a
don't know what
pucker.
position. One of my
Mother
brothers played
pucker.
at Pitt.
Yeah. I can't do both. I can play street hockey and I can ice skate. I can't do both.
I can do one of those two, and that's play street hockey.
Now I'm gonna have a caveat with this. I played semi-pro hockey.
Did you?
Semi-pro hockey in this instance only means that somebody paid for the rink time and the beer. We put a company's name on the jersey, and that was it. But because of that, we took money for it. We called it semi-pro.
What position did you play?
Defense.
Really?
Yep.
But
I-
not goalie.
No.
I
no
like
goal.
defensemen.
I was a goalie.
The
Why?
final year I played, I led the league in goals, penalties, and assists.
As a defenseman, you led the league in goals?
Yep.
In my youth, I never played group sports.
No? Team sports are the best.
Judo and wrestling.
Not team sports.
Nope.
I love team sports. It's awesome.
I don't like
golf.
anybody enough to play with them on a team.
There you go.
Yeah, here you sit.
Different kind of team.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get our final thoughts on this this cigar. Moose.
I've enjoyed this thoroughly. It's a very tasty cigar. Mild cigar, but tasty. I'm giving it a 9.5.
Woo, there you go.
That's
Stellar.
Yeah.
Paul?
I'm enjoying this cigar tremendously. I wouldn't call it mild, I'd call it mellow. It's got too much flavor to be
Yes.
flat out mild.
That might be a better presentation. Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
so
yeah.
easygoing. I'm still getting mint, and it's a near perfect cigar. I give it a 9.5 also.
Scott?
I'm still getting that mint. There's other stuff going on too, but I can't. I can't identify it. But very smooth, cool. Like the smoke is cooling. I
Yeah,
don't know
it
how
is.
I don't know how else to describe it.
I've never gotten that in any other cigar.
Yeah, and it doesn't. I guess I'd have to say it doesn't taste Nicaraguan.
No.
You're tasting the wrapper a lot.
Um,
the
guess, yeah.
the Ecuadorian Sumatra has a mineral quality that could come across as mint.
You didn't put a number on it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it did.
What was it?
9.5.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
I'll go with a
agreed with
9.25.
Wow. This does not taste like a Tatuaje cigar.
Not at all.
Not even close.
Other than that, it's really good.
Yeah, and other than Pepin made it, you wouldn't even know that it was a
Nope.
Tatuaje cigar. That mint taste is really refreshing. It
Yeah.
really is. I really like the retro hail on this cigar, and it puts out a lot of smoke, man. It really does. You can't get too many people. Like we're sitting here, it's like this room is full of smoke. There's 5 of us smoking, and there's a ton of it. Just the 5th one is
It's back there
back
behind
there
the
behind
camera.
the camera.
Sorry, we can't see the other 4 from back here.
So I agree with Scott.
You've been doing that a lot lately. Does it hurt?
Yeah, clearly, it comes with great pain.
I want to do what you suggested. 9.26. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a
Just to
great-
be fake different.
Just exactly. I really enjoy this cigar a lot. It's really nice.
And just a word to all the people watching. It will be in the stores this weekend.
Good. This weekend. That's right. We just got them in yesterday.
Yep. Yeah, just got them in this week.
So
and
they'll be in by the weekend.
they'll be in by the
I've already gone
weekend.
through a box.
Have you?
All by yourself?
I've had it for a while.
Ah, nice.
You're just special.
Don't forget next
No, I
Thursday
wouldn't
is
say special.
the draft.
Oh yeah.
Who'd you
Blackwell.
say's having a draft? Downingtown.
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 Downingtown's having a draft party. That I love the football draft.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I miss it on Saturdays because I used to sit outside on my deck and bring a. Literally, this is back in the day. I used to take my TV and bring it outside with the cable and everything like that, and I would sit outside and watch it and smoke cigars while I was doing it.
There's
And
nothing wrong with that.
It was awesome.
One of the best times I ever had was like probably 1998, 99. I was in Chicago, like at the Marriott, and just this is when you could smoke in the rooms. I just had a ton of cigars. I just sat there for hours, just like watching the draft, and just had this giant window looking out over the whole city. It was just fantastic.
And I love that they boo Roger Goodell every time he walks up to the podium.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. It's just so funny. The guy makes a fortune, and he
Yeah,
doesn't,
so
even,
he doesn't
and he doesn't
care.
even play. He makes more than the players, and he doesn't even play.
He regulates.
But what he does do
To
is,
death.
what he does do is bring in a crap load of money to the NFL.
Well, yeah, you got
That's
a
what
lot
he
more
does.
viewers when he paired up Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
Yeah. Was that an arranged thing you're saying?
No.
No.
Yeah, there was a conspiracy theory about that, wasn't there?
Yep. Yes,
What's
there
that
was.
was?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, thank you for watching, and I guess we will see you next week.
Next
Next
week.
Wednesday.
Smoke often and smoke happy.
Ciao
Smoke
for
'em
now,
if you got
everybody.
'em.
Life's too something short
Short.
to smoke cheap cigars.
You've been saying it for 10 years and you can't get it right.
He got it right once.
That's okay. You have trouble with the opening.
Not today.
Not today.